Hello, future top-notchers. Welcome to another Social Studies Majorship Review session. And today we'll be tackling a fundamental topic, which is politics, governance, and law. And this area covers government structures, political systems, legal principles, and governance theories. As future teachers, you need to understand how government functions, how laws are made, and how political systems shape societies. For this session, we'll go through 20 multiple choice questions, each with a rationalization. So just stay focused and let's get started. Number one, which of the following is a primary function of an executive branch of government? Letter A enforces laws, letter B interprets laws, letter C makes laws, or letter D review laws. The best answer is letter A. The executive branch, headed by the president or prime minister, is responsible for enforcing and implementing laws. Enforcing, laws. That's it. Okay. And for letter B, the one who interprets laws, it is the function of the judiciary branch. For the one who makes laws, uh, is the function of the legislative branch, and the one who reviews laws, if it is it is primarily a function of judicial branch. So letter A is the best answer. Number two, what is the significance of the principle of separation of powers in a democratic government? Letter A, it ensures that one branch controls all government functions. Letter B, it prevents any single branch from becoming too powerful. Letter C, it allows the executive branch to override judicial decisions. Or letter D, it gives the military authority over civilian government. The best answer is letter B. The principle of separation of powers divides government responsibilities among the legislative, executive, and judicial branches to prevent the concentration of power. So it prevents any single branch from becoming too powerful. Letter B is the best answer. Now, letter A ensures one branch controls all functions. It is incorrect, as separation of powers aims to distribute authority. Letter C allows executive override of judicial decisions. Incorrect, as we all know checks and balances prevent such unilateral control. Or letter D gives military authority over civilian government. This is incorrect, as civilian control of the military is a fundamental democratic principle. Number three, in a presidential system of government, how is the head of state selected? Letter A, directly elected by the people. Letter B, appointed by the legislature. Letter C, selected by the judiciary. Or letter D, chosen by the military. Of course, in a presidential system, the president is elected by the people and serves as both head of state and head of government. Letter A is the best answer. Appointed by the legislature is incorrect, as this is common in parliamentary systems where the head of government, which is the minister, prime minister, is selected by the legislature. Now, for letter C, selected by judiciary, it's incorrect, as the judiciary does not play a role in appointing the executive leader. Chosen by the military, it's incorrect, as democratic systems does not allow the military to select the head of state. So letter A is the best answer. Number four, what is the purpose of judicial review in a democratic society? Letter A, to enforce international treaties. Letter B, to create laws based on judicial opinions. Letter C, to allow the executive to change laws. Or letter D, to ensure laws comply with the Constitution. Okay, judicial review allows courts, particularly the Supreme Court, to assess whether laws and executive actions adhere to the Constitution. Letter D is the best answer. To ensure laws comply with the Constitution, that's why they have to do judicial review. Now let's discuss the other choices. Why are they incorrect? Letter A, to enforce international treaties. It's wrong, as treaties enforcement is primarily a function of the executive branch. Letter B, to create laws based on judicial opinions, is incorrect, as the judicial does not create laws but interprets them. Letter C, to allow the executive to change laws, it's incorrect, as the I mean, only the legislature has the power to amend laws or change it. So letter D is the best answer. Number 5. Which principle ensures that the government derives its power from the consent of the governed? Letter A, popular sovereignty. Letter B, federalism. Letter C, judicial supremacy. Or letter D, separation of powers. The best answer is letter A, popular sovereignty. This is the principle that government authority comes from the people through election and democratic participation. Letter A. Let's discuss the other choices. Federalism refers to the division of power between national and local governments. Judicial supremacy pertains to the authority of courts over constitutional interpretation. Separation of powers refers to the division of government roles into branches. Letter A is the best answer. Number 6. In a parliamentary system, who is the head of government? Letter A, President. Letter B, Prime Minister. Letter C, Chief Justice. Or letter D, Governor General. Okay, in a parliamentary system, the Prime Minister is the head of government and is usually elected by the legislative body. Letter B is the best answer. For letter A, President, this is incorrect, as President, if present, is usually the head of state, not the head of government. For letter C, Chief Justice is incorrect, as the Chief Justice is part of the judiciary, not the executive branch. Governor General is the role, this role is typically ceremonial in constitutional monarchies. Letter B is the best answer. Number 7. Which of the following best defines the principle of checks and balances? Letter A. Each branch of government can limit the powers of the others. Letter B. The legislative branch has absolute authority. Letter C. The executive branch has more power than the judiciary. Letter D. The judiciary can remove elected officials at will. Okay, the best answer is letter A. Checks and balances ensure that no branch of government becomes too powerful by allowing them to oversee and limit each other's action. Letter A is the best answer. For letter B, the legislative branch has absolute authority is incorrect, as no single branch should have unchecked power in a democracy. Letter C, executive branch has more power than the judiciary. It's incorrect, as all branches should have equal authority with checks and balances. Now, for letter D, the judiciary can remove elected officials at will is incorrect as removal of officials follows due process and legal proceedings, not at will. So letter A is the best answer. Number 8. Which type of law is based on previous judicial decisions rather than written statutes? Letter A. Administrative law. Letter B. Civil law. Letter C. Statutory law. Or letter D. Common law. The best answer is letter D. Common law. Common law is developed through judicial precedents rather than written statutes. And now let's discuss the other choices. Letter A, administrative law. It deals with regulations set by government agencies. Civil law. This relies on codified statutes and legal codes. Statutory law. Uh, this is enacted by legislatures. So the best answer is letter D, common law. Number 9. Which political theory argues that the legitimacy of rulers is derived from a hypothetical agreement among individuals in a state of nature? Letter A, utilitarianism. Letter B, social construct theory. Letter C, Marxism. Or letter D, realism. Okay, the correct answer is social construct theory. Uh, social construct theory, championed by philosophers like Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, suggests that government exists based on an implicit agreement where individuals surrender some freedom in exchange for security and order. So there's an agreement among individuals. So letter B is the best answer. Now, let's discuss the other choices. Utilitarianism is incorrect as it is a moral theory focusing on maximizing overall happiness rather than just justifying government authority. For Marxism views government as a tool of class struggle rather than a contract between individuals. Letter D, realism is incorrect as this is in political science, focusing on power and self-interest in international relations. Letter B is the best answer. Number 10. In a presidential system, what is the main check that the legislature has over the executive branch? Letter A. Impeachment and removal from office. Letter B. Veto power over executive orders. Letter C. Ability to dissolve the executive branch. Or letter D. Direct appointment of executive officials. The correct answer is letter A. In a presidential system, the legislature can check the executive branch by initiating impeachment proceedings and removing a president for misconduct. That is their power over the executive branch, the power to initiate impeachment. Letter A is the best answer. Now, veto power over executive orders is incorrect as the veto power is typically exercised by the president over legislation, not the way around. Not the other way around. For letter C, ability to dissolve the executive branch is incorrect as only parliamentary systems allow for dissolving the executive via a vote of no confidence, not in presidential systems. For letter D, direct appointment of executive officials is incorrect as executive appointments are usually made by the president, though they may require legislative approval. So letter A is the best answer. Number 11, which is the primary distinction between de jure and de facto government? Letter A, De jure government is legally recognized, while de facto government exercises power without legal recognition. Letter B. De jure government relies on religious authority, while de facto government is secular. Letter C. De jure government operates in a democracy, while de facto government exists in authoritarian regimes. Or letter D. De jure government is formed by the people, while a foreign power imposes de facto government. The best answer is letter A. A de jure government is established and recognized by law, while a de facto government may function in practice but lacks formal legal legitimacy, like military junta. So letter A is the best answer. Now, let's discuss the other choices. Letter B is incorrect as legal recognition does not depend on religion. For letter C is incorrect as both forms can exist under various political systems. For letter D, it's incorrect as de facto government can arise internally, like uh, military takeovers. So letter A is the best answer. Number 12. Which of the following legal theories argues that laws must be based on moral reasoning and universal principles rather than mere government enactment? Letter A. Legal positivism. Letter B. Natural law. Letter C. Realist jurisprudence. Or letter D. Critical legal studies. The correct answer is natural law. Natural law theory, advocated by thinkers like Aquinas and Locke, holds that laws should be grounded in moral principle and universal justice rather than arbitrary state decisions. Letter B is the best answer. Legal positivism is incorrect as legal positivism states that laws are valid simply because they are enacted by legitimate authority, regardless of moral consideration. Realist jurisprudence is incorrect as this focuses on how laws function in reality rather than theoretical or moral principles. Letter D. Critical legal studies is incorrect as this approach critiques the legal system as a tool of social and political power. Number 13. Under the 1987 Philippine Constitution, which of the following scenarios would most likely violate the principle of separation of powers? Letter A. The President vetoes a bill passed by Congress. Letter B. The Supreme Court declares a law unconstitutional. Letter C. The Speaker of the House appoints a Supreme Court justice. Or letter D. The Senate conducts an inquiry in aid of legislation. The best answer is letter C. The power to appoint justices to Supreme Court is vested in the President, with the recommendation of the Judicial and Bar Council or JBC. If the Speaker of the House were to appoint a justice, it would violate the separation of powers between the legislative and executive branch. So that's why letter C is the best answer. Now let's discuss the other choices. Letter A, um, the president vetoes a bill passed by Congress. It's incorrect as veto power is a constitutional check on legislative branch. It does not violate. Letter B, um, it does not violate because this is an example of the judiciary exercising judicial review. Letter D, the Senate conducts an inquiry in aid of legislation is incorrect as this is a constitutionally granted power of the legislature. So only letter C violates this law. violates the separation of power principle. Number 14, in the event of a vacancy in the vice presidency, how is the new vice president selected? Letter A, the president nominates a replacement subject to congressional approval. Letter B, the Senate president automatically assumes the position. Letter C, a special election is conducted within 60 days. Or letter D, the Chief Justice appoints a new vice president. The correct answer is letter A. Under the Article 7, Section 9 of the 1987 Constitution, when the vice presidency becomes vacant, the president shall nominate a replacement, who must then be confirmed by a majority vote of both houses of Congress voting separately. Letter A is the best answer. For letter B, the Senate President automatically assumes the position is incorrect as the Constitution does not provide for automatic succession in this case. Letter C, a special election is conducted within 60 days is incorrect as no special election is required for a vice presidential vacancy. For letter D, the Chief Justice appoints a new vice president is incorrect as the judiciary does not have this power. So only letter A is the best answer. Number 15. The doctrine of command responsibility applies in cases where letter A, a government official signs an illegal executive order, letter B, a government agency fails to meet its budget requirements, letter C, a superior officer is held accountable for the crimes of subordinates due to negligence or complicity, letter C, a judge issues a ruling contrary to the Supreme Court precedent. The correct answer is letter C. The doctrine of command responsibility holds that a leader or superior can be held responsible for human rights violation or crimes committed by subordinates if they fail to prevent or punish such actions. So this often invoked in cases of human rights abuses, war crimes, and police or military misconduct. Letter C is the best answer. Let's discuss the other choices. Letter a government official signs an illegal executive order is incorrect, as this would be an act of direct responsibility, not command responsibility. Letter B, a government agency fails to meet its budget requirements is incorrect, as this is an administrative issue rather than a legal liability under command responsibility. Letter D, a judge issues a ruling contrary to Supreme Court precedents is incorrect, as judges have judicial independence, and this would be resolved through the appeals process. Only letter C is the best answer. Number 16, if the President declares martial law, which of the following actions is unconstitutional? Letter A, the President suspends the writ of habeas corpus. Letter B, Congress votes to revoke the martial law declaration. Letter C, the Supreme Court reviews the legality of the declaration. Letter D, the President extends martial law indefinitely without congressional approval. The best answer is letter D. Hmm. Under the Article 7 of Section 18 of 1987 Constitution, martial law can only last 60 days unless extended by Congress. The Supreme Court may also review the declaration. Okay, letter D is the best answer. For letter um, A, the President suspends the writ of habeas corpus is incorrect, as the President has the power to do so during martial law. Letter B, the Congress has the authority to revoke martial law, so it's incorrect. It's constitutional. For letter C, This is an explicit constitutional provision. The Supreme Court should review the legality of the declaration. So it's incorrect. So letter D is the only choice that is unconstitutional. Number 17, which government agency is responsible for investigating complaints of corruption against public officials in the Philippines? Letter A, Sandiganbayan. Letter B, Office of the Ombudsman. Letter C, Commission on Audit or COA. Or letter D, Department of Justice or DOJ. The best answer is letter B. Office of the Ombudsman is the independent body responsible for investigating complaints for corruption, misconduct, and abusive powers by public officials. Letter B is the best answer. Sandigan Bayan, it is a special anti-graft court that bears cases but does not investigate them. COA conducts audits of government finances but does not prosecute corruption cases. DOJ handles prosecution but does not focus exclusively on corruption investigation, only Office of the Ombudsman. Number 18, under the Philippine electoral system, what happens if no candidate wins a majority in the presidential election? Letter A, a runoff election is conducted. Letter B, the candidate with the highest number of votes wins regardless of majority. Letter C, the House of Representatives elects the president. Or letter D, the Senate conducts a special session to decide the winner. The best answer, of course, is letter B. In the Philippines, the president is elected by plurality vote, meaning the candidate with the most votes wins, even without an absolute majority. So letter B is the best answer. Mm, letter A is incorrect as the Philippine system does not have a runoff system like in some countries. Letter C, this is incorrect as this only applies in cases where no one wins the vice presidency. Or letter D, it's incorrect as the Senate has no role in choosing the president under normal electoral circumstances. Okay, the best answer is letter B. Number 19, which of the following actions by the president would be considered unconstitutional under the 1987 Philippine Constitution? Letter A, granting amnesty to political prisoners with the concurrence of Congress. Letter B, declaring martial law in the entire country for 60 days following an armed rebellion. Letter B, appointing his or her spouse to a cabinet position. Or letter D, suspending a local government official due to gross misconduct. The best answer is letter C. The 1987 Constitution prohibits nepotism in government appointments. It's stipulated in Article 7, Section 13. The President is not allowed to appoint relatives within the fourth civil degree of consanguinity or affinity to government positions, including spouses, parents, and siblings. So letter C is unconstitutional. Letter A is constitutional because President has the power to grant amnesty, but it requires congressional approval. For letter B, this is allowed under the Constitution, provided Congress and the Supreme Court can review it. Like the President can declare martial law uh, for 60 days following an armed rebellion. So it's constitutional. For letter D, mm, suspending a local government official due to gross misconduct is constitutional because president has the authority to suspend local executives through the Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG subject to due process. Only letter C is unconstitutional. Last number, if a law is challenged for being unconstitutional, which of the following best describes the role of the Supreme Court? Letter A, it reviews the law only if requested by Congress. Letter B, it can declare the law unconstitutional only if the President agrees. Letter C, it exercises judicial review to determine if the law violates the Constitution. Or letter D, it can rewrite or amend the law to make it constitutional. Okay, the power of judicial review is the authority of the Supreme Court to determine the constitutionality of laws, executive actions, and policies. So the power is outlined in Article 8, Section 1 of the 1987 Constitution. So, okay, letter C is the best answer. For letter A, Supreme Court can review a law based on petitions from any affected party, not just Congress. Letter B, judicial review is an independent power of the judiciary and does not require executive approval. For letter D, only Congress has the power to amend or repeal laws. The Supreme Court can only strike down unconstitutional provisions. So the best answer is letter C. And that's it for our politics, governance, and law review. Comment your scores below and let me know which topics you'd like me to cover next. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss future review sessions. And this is Teacher Art once again reminding you study hard because by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Okay, see you in our next session, future teachers. Bye bye.